Cesar Milan was formerly referred as the whole group was astounded by the dog whisperer. Courtroom when he instantly passed out following the moment of the verdict left many in a state of disbelief, and even weeping. The startling information from Los Angeles courthouses located throughout the United overnight states are stirring up according to public opinion. He is known as millions of people adored the dog trainer, but now his reputation and career are at danger. Their greatest obstacle to date. Do you believe that someone once regarded as an expert in this discipline can conquer this? The man who was once adored by storm, Cesar Milan as the dog whisperer, was unable to suppress his tears upon hearing the ultimate determination during a contentious trial that silenced the whole courtroom. Outside of a surge of public sentiment swiftly broke out. With innumerable inquiries concerning justice and the reality of it, after taking into account a beacon of hope for households that were unable to manage their dogs, Milan saved the lives of innumerable canines declared irreparable, offering tranquility and linked to numerous residences. He not only altered the course of dogs' lives, but also impacted millions of animals' hearts. Lovers worldwide with unique training techniques, uncommon patience, and calmly, he gave them another chance. For beings that appear to have lost everything, for many supporters, Milan is more than just knowledgeable yet also inspirational. According to Jennifer Anderson, 56, even despite her mom's Alzheimer's, she nonetheless acknowledged his profoundly comforting voice in their eyes as the show aired. In addition to being a dog trainer, he was also a companion as a healing symbol. But Milan's path has never been simple. The inquiry started about a year ago. First as a standard administrative check, but eventually resulted in significant accusations pertaining to the finances and his center's global operations. The matter became complex and extended, creating his recognizable image to the subject of debate, although Milan has admitted responsibility without ever denying it. That every dog at the facility is treated according to the highest standards because he has never taken any action to hurt the animals to whom he has dedicated his life to safeguard. In his opinion, sadly, all of the cases involved dogs had severe illnesses that had been previously placed on the euthanasia list. Reaching the Cesar Milan Center, the narrative is not just about a well-known dog trainer as well as the turbulent path of a man dealing with the most difficult. Will the truth come to light in his life? An idol that millions of people once adored conquered the public opinion storm to carry on with his mission. Everything is still open. Inquiries and the general public's perceptions are continuing to follow his every move. Dr. Maria Rodriguez's step. For a long time, Milan Foundation veterinarian quieted the courtroom with her. She provided testimony about Milan's pets, took in hungry human beings mistreated and even coerced into taking part in ruthless battles to the death. That many endured wounds that would never go away, not only mentally and physically, but to Milan they weren't forgotten beings, were lives deserving of love, that merited a second opportunity, and despite being aware of the risks, he was prepared to welcome them into his arms, since he couldn't ignore those in dire need. Amidst the several charges about Milan's name, a heartfelt, the mainstream ignored the story. Media. It was more than just his rescuing a puppy, but rescuing a whole household from an unfathomable catastrophe. Sarah Thompson, a 58-year-old teacher at an elementary school, came to court from Colorado with red eyes and a quivering voice. She described what happened in October 2018 as a day that started with a ray of hope and concluded with her family experiencing a miracle. Will always remember the day they brought hold her daughter's mixed Rottweiler to as a last resort. Milan's training facility effort prior to having to make the bear's tragic choice had been the Thompson's daughter Emma's only source of life following her husband's unexpected death in a vehicle collision. The dog was not just a friend as well as a source of spiritual assistance that enabled her to navigate the darkness days. But as he matured, Bear turned into he is a bit out of control. Unreasonable outbursts and assaults on other dogs and strangers deserted the family. In a fright, even if they saw several experts attempting various techniques, including medicine, to address the issue did not get better after Bear struck animal control provided the delivery man with an warning if his actions didn't Bear would be put to death for Emma. There was more to the danger than there was a chance of losing a dog. Last assistance in a terrible situation, her family resorted to life in desperation. Milan, whom they thought would be their last hope, and everything from that point forward started to shift in Mrs. Thompson's desperation, chose to write Cesar a letter. Milan's performance doesn't dare dream for an answer, but the unexpected moment arrived when his group called to say that they were visiting her home to record a unique episode on a chilly autumn day. Milan arrived at the Thompson residence. The first hour he spent at his hilltop home observed Bear intently, paying attention to the dog's every action. But all of a sudden he went silent, then turned to face Emma, asking coolly, "Have you been having headaches recently?" The query shocked the family before he. "Does the house feel warmer?" she added. "More than normal?" Emma said nervously. That headaches had been bothering them recently, but they attributed it to stress. Over Bear. Milan gave a small nod and recommended that the window be opened to allow the after the air had circulated. He stealthily took Mrs. Push Thompson away and muttered, "I believe carbon is affecting your family. Monoxide poisoning." Mrs. Thompson initially was shocked by what she was hearing. However, after Milan clarified that Bear's headaches, fatigue, flushes, and changes in conduct could indicate poisonous gases in the house, she started to worry. Milan gave the order right away for a team member will contact emergency services. While carrying on with Bear as though the training was proceeding as usual, but long after the fire department showed up and the test findings startled the family, there is a major heating issue. Carbon monoxide was leaking from the system. A firefighter then went around the home, told the family that if they choose to stay another evening, they would probably never get out of bed. When the defense lawyer inquired as to how Mrs. Thompson knew it was Milan was the first to realize the threat. She gave a solid response. When the paramedics, when they got there, they inquired as to who knew the symptoms, and Cesar stated that he had before seen a dog in a similar situation. That abruptly turned hostile for no apparent reason. Milan's obvious motivation for not stopping at alert of the toxic gas following the incident. He kept an eye on the health of the Thompson family for months, not need to make sure they had completely recuperated, but to ensure Bear able to adapt to his new existence after the Bear was no longer impacted by poison gas. Gradually altered his conduct, and his prior hostility vanished under Milan's watchful eye. Bear developed into at Mrs. Thompson's school, a therapy dog assisting pupils who were struggling emotional reading and processing. In court, Mrs. Thompson's eyes were fixed on the jury. Her voice was stifled by Bear wasn't the only one saved by Cesar Milan. He preserved my grandchild and daughter. And me. The man you're thinking about, the individual who was sent to prison, was identified a risk that even medical professionals overlooked during regular examinations, and he behaved quietly and calmly without looking for. Cesar Milan is known for his recognition. Actually, her testimony changed the mood, and the weight of the courtroom was more than simply a tale of a dog trainer, but a tale about empathy regarding a man who consistently put both human and animal life in danger. First, but will he receive justice? The solution won't be known until the ultimate decision is rendered. The trial's most poignant moment was when Gloria Sanchez was 62, a mother of 3 and a kindergarten teacher, got up and told the tale of how Cesar Milan transformed the life of her kid. Speech faltered with feeling, and when the courtroom became hushed as the story was told. Even if Milan found it difficult to contain tears, David, my kid, was content, but that altered irrevocably after he was assaulted by a neighbor's dog at the age of 4. Old, Sanchez remarked while fighting back tears. The scars on the body healed, but the anxiety, David's fear of dogs, remained constant. Embedded in him, becoming inessential at one point in his life, He refused to visit the park, was unable to visit friends' homes if he became terrified any time they got pets. He was terrified when he noticed a dog on the street. Caused him to withdraw, which resulted in severe despair and anxiety, and the family tried everything from counseling to sophisticated therapies, but nothing could then assist David in regaining his enthusiasm for life. While the family was watching one evening, something about Cesar Milan's behavior engaged with the patient, kind dogs. And comprehension reached David. He didn't, for the first time in years, turn away out of fear. He truly desired to comprehend the reasons behind the behavior of dogs. Sanchez remembers with a hint of optimism she chose to get in touch with Milan's training center. Didn't anticipate a reply, but Cesar Milan himself performed a miracle. Welcomed David to his farm over the phone. During the week that Milan spent spending time with David and teaching him to relax friendly dogs, and he didn't hurry, compel him, but softly presented him with four-legged buddies whirled in a manner that has never been done before. One Milan took a seat beside David in the afternoon, and made a statement the boy would never remember, that fear does not equate to respect. Is not a source of worry after you comprehend the difference, that you won't be. Sadly, David's life was altered by those comments. The boy who had entered the farm would be there forever. Walked out with a terrified heart. With a fresh purpose and enthusiasm today, not only has David Sanchez conquered his trauma in childhood, but has also turned into he has committed himself as a veterinary technician. His life to assist those who have experienced trauma. Using animal therapy with children. Carrying on Cesar's excellent work as she stood in front of the jury, Milan did. Gloria Sanchez wrapped up her testimony, delivering a heartfelt message. Cesar Milan didn't only assist my son in overcoming he offered him a new life and a future despite his concerns. Believed we would never be able to, so please don't. There are a lot of families, so take him away. They are equally in need of him as we were. There was an intense stillness in the room. Is more than just a dog trainer's story. Also a tale of a man who committed his life to support human life, and in the dark, animals discover light. Cesar Milan is more than just a gifted dog. As a trainer, he has also transformed individuals' life, assisting them in locating the appropriate life's path. Is among the greatest strong illustrations of this are the heartwarming tale of Angela Martinez, the voice of a 54-year-old single mother. She shuddered as she appeared in court, describing how she was saved by Cesar Milan's son from a troubled background, but only the family dog. My son Miguel was the first to turn 16, Martinez remarked, tears in his eyes. His father abandoned us, she said, long ago, and that rage gradually weakened my son, causing him to begin skipping hanging out with gang members at school. And as the days passed, the separation between we developed. What was once a friendly discussions turned into disputes, and doors were banged among this household. Their German Shepherd Rex's breakdown as well started to shift. He became combative, violently responding to anyone that arrived in his vicinity, and even assaulted a neighbor's. A directive was issued by Child Animal Control. Either help Rex behave better or put him to death. Confronting the possibility of losing his soul, Miguel, his lone companion, was in dire straits. Cesar Milan was discovered by the family to be holding a conference on dog training in town, but the cost of the ticket was excessive. Miguel chose to go because of their finances. Regardless, remaining outside the whole meeting with the intention of meeting the man, he thought about his final glimmer of hope. And a miracle took place. Cesar Milan observed as Miguel walked away. Martinez remarked her confidence returned as she raised her voice, rather than only signing an autograph, and he continued, then paused to glance at my son. Questioned, "Why don't you come in?" Miguel acknowledged that our family was unable to pay for. Cesar took action. Not only was amazing Milan welcomed, Miguel will get free admission to the workshop. But after the family's complete, he volunteered to visit Rex's house and share his experience. To assist him the following day, and that Sunday, everything changed in the afternoon. Training was more than just assisting Rex in changing his behavior. Cesar worked for hours with more than just Rex, but also discussing with Miguel accountability, self-control, and authority of constructive force. As Martinez remembers observing her son as a heartless, irate boy, heard whatever Milan had to say with unparalleled attention to the most potent moment that Cesar gazed straight at Miguel, saying, "Your canine companion is your energy's reflection when you're furious at what he perceives to be his world to keep you safe from the outside world, but when he feels secure since you're composed and serene and safe." Those words struck a chord with as Rex's actions improved. Miguel, he woke up and started to transform as well. Previously, the standard Milan instructed him, he went back to school, and his grades increased. But more significantly, he started to reject the harmful effects that had taken him in the wrong direction. Cesar, I am impressed by Miguel's efforts, provided him with a unique chance to working at his dog's psychology center for the summer, and it permanently altered Miguel's life. After 10 years, Miguel is not just a resilient adult, but he has also established a rehabilitation initiative for abandoned. These dogs now assist those who are in danger. Kids who used to be like Miguel. Miss Martinez, himself, came to her conclusion. Testimony using these moving words. Numerous families are present in our community that has been changed by when my son works with dogs. He would without Cesar. I would never have discovered that route. He did more than just rehabilitate canines, Milan. He helped people think more clearly and difficult to make a decision regarding him due to the large number of individuals in this planet that is in need. The courtroom became quiet as he spoke. Not merely a dog trainer's tale, it tells the tale of lives changed by compassion, comprehension, and faith that nobody is above. Redemption is a pivotal point in when the defense called for the trial. 72-year-old Martha Winters from to the stand in rural Tennessee. In spite of her, she had traveled despite her deteriorating condition thousands of kilometers in order to convey a tale that had never before been heard, a tale that would alter how the courtroom is conducted. Thought poorly of the actual Cesar Milan. Winters' voice opened her tale by describing her modest existence in a little cottage in the Smoky Mountains. Following the death of her spouse, she chose to remain by herself, turning down the guidance from her kids. Her soul, her 3 rescue dogs served as companions, Cooper and Bella Max. "They're not simply pets," she said, her eyes gleaming. "One evening in which I say, they're my family." February 2019, a powerful snowfall swept across the region where Winters was watching a Cesar while seated in her home Milan concert when the electricity abruptly cut off. Our darkness swiftly spread across. The temperature fell dangerously low, and she became aware that her generator was broken due to the heavy snowfall. Then something unexpectedly, she came across an automobile had gone off the road and became stuck, and Winters didn't realize it was in front of her driveway. Realized that the vehicle was, in fact, Cesar Milan's. Had become disoriented amid the storm while traveling. He saw the old man on his way to a lecture. A woman in peril in Chile. Milan leaping into action, he assisted her in moving, steering her 3 through the heavy snow dogs along, and managed to take refuge in her former barn by the flickering small firelight. In the Milan's nighttime, harsh cold not only shielded her but changed the challenging moment into a lesson on survival. He built a wall out of hay to stop the wind that keeps the 3 dogs near to stay warm over the winter. But what kept her? He kept us up all night with his stories. He talked about his challenging upbringing, regarding the days he spent in Mexico meandering aimlessly across the border, regarding his shortcomings and unmet dreams. I understood he wasn't only narrating, he was trying to tell me a story. Alert as he was aware if I slept off, I might never wake up in the cold. Winters remembered choking at the crack of dawn. Milan broke and walked out of the refuge. It took almost 2 hours to locate a rescue signal. Upon arrival of the paramedics, they recognized very away the seriousness of rescuers of Winter's hypothermia, reported that without her 3 dogs' comfort, and she wouldn't have made it through a minor fire. The night they said that younger individuals and a healthy version of me would have perished in situations that were even less severe than the most noteworthy was Milan's response to he didn't take credit for the entire thing, and he did not boast about what he had done when the lawyer inquired about the matter. He failed to recall my name, Winter. Smiled softly and only mentioned the woman. With the 3 stunning, the essence of Cesar Milan was dogs. He believed he had done nothing remarkable or deserving, he just took the required actions to save the lives of people and 3 devoted pets during the winter. The courtroom was moved by the story, but additionally created an accurate image of Cesar Milan was a man who comprehended not just compassion as well as animals' accountability and silent sacrifice. Despite the testimony of numerous witnesses relating heartwarming tales of Cesar's, Milan provided assistance to both humans and animals. The jury's verdict was ultimately guilty. Judgment on the most severe accusations when Raymond Morris, the judge, delivered the life sentence. The courtroom gasped in shock. Many others were shocked by what they heard. They had only recently heard, and that was when the instance in which Cesar Milan, who had remained composed during the entire trial, ultimately led to the man's demise. For his poise in each and every his hands now fell apart, trembling as he removed uncontrollable weeping, according to witnesses who were there. Was their first encounter with Milan. Renowned animal behaviorist for his self-assurance and poise, bowed down in the intense emotional outbursts. In a choked voice, he said his parting remarks prior to leaving the courthouse with an escort. I merely wanted to assist because I wanted to make balance. I wanted to rescue the dogs. I wanted to abandon the forgotten. Demonstrate to others that with perseverance,